Hello, welcome to the Quakes Motel. My name's Conan, I am the concierge. Today I'm going to show you my startup template for the MPC Sample. Let's jump in. So before I get into this, these stands from Ugreen are perfect for the MPC Sample or an SP404. Just to let you know, I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I bought this with my own money. No affiliated links below, but they're decent. They're a good stand for your sample, SP404, SP303, SP202, etc. So one thing I've noticed about making content on the MPC Sample, the very little that I've done so far, is it's quite difficult to think of something to do with it because it's such a simple machine. It's so straightforward. You can literally learn it in an hour or two. I don't know how people have made masterclasses on it, to be honest. I really don't. It's so simple. If you already know the MPC workflow, you kind of already know how to use the MPC Sample, and the little idiosyncrasies, the little things that are a little bit different, a little bit weird that you don't have on the other MPCs, they're very quick to learn, and But what I'm trying to say is it's quite difficult to find things to actually make content about on the MPC Sample, which is why most of the content that I've seen is just people making beats, which is great. It's back to basics. Here's how you make a beat. This is what you do. This is what I do. There's no mixing, deep diving menus, etc. And one of the things that I've done to kind of make the MPC Sample my own is I have a startup template. Now, the way that the sample is different from the One, the Live II, the XL, etc., is you don't have the option for a user template when you first start. So you have to load new project, or when you first turn it on, it will have the project that you already had, you were working with beforehand, which is great as well. It's like an auto save type sort of thing, similar to the SP404 Mark II. So when you press new project, it basically gives you a clean slate. But the clean slate that you are given doesn't really work for me. There's a few things in there that I don't really like, that I always found that I would change it straight away. So what I did is, rather than change it every single time, is I made my own new project. You can't turn the machine on and it just be there. You have to load it. It's not like the user template thing that you get in the other MPCs, basically. So you will have it in your project folder and you will load it every single time you want a clean slate. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through what I've done. Everyone's clean slate is going to be a bit different. So you can be inspired by it, you can copy it, you can download it. It's going to be downloadable for free. You can use mine and just change it how you want, or you can start afresh, make your own. I'm going to explain to you the decisions that I've made, and then like I said, you can be inspired by it, you can copy it, or you can not do it at all. It's entirely up to you. So we'll jump into the MPC Sample. We'll jump in to the MPC Sample. We will go to new project. So we have our completely clean slate. This is the default project that Akai have provided us for the MPC Sample. Now, I'm assuming that this default project is going to be the same for everybody, but for some odd reason, it might not be. But this is the default project that I have every single time I hit new project. I'm pretty certain it's going to be the same for everybody. So the first thing I do is I go into sequence. Now, 128 BPM is the default BPM that is always on there when you start a new project. It's a bit of an odd number, but not a problem. But the first thing I do is I change this BPM here. You have global or you have sequence. In sequence, you can basically change the BPM of every single sequence, or you can have them all the same. But if you have them all the same, you might as well keep BPM on global. I tend to work in such a way that I have one project all together in all the sequences together, all the samples together. I don't tend to have 3 or 4 projects on the go all at once on different sequences, different banks. I just don't do that. I'm the same on the SP404. I know some people do, but I don't. So I keep global on because I'm not, unless I really, for some odd reason, there are occasions when it does happen, but basically most of the time I'm going to have the BPM the same on each individual sequence. I might just have drums on sequence 1, drums on sample sequence 2, sample on its own sequence 3, a bridge on sequence 4, but they're all going to be the same BPM. So I don't have to keep changing the BPM for each individual sequence, I just keep it on as global. Then after I've changed that, because if you changed it after you've changed the BPM, it goes back to 128 again. So change that first if you want to change it. Then I'll go into the BPM. I have my default at 90. Reason is that I tend to work at 80 BPM through to around about 100 on average. Not all the time, this isn't a rule, but it's kind of where I tend to work. So I choose 90 because it's right in the middle. And you know, it's going to be different for everybody. Like I say, some people will always work at the same BPM. I know house producers that always work at 120 or always work at 125. There's nothing wrong with that. And if that's what you do, set it there, because then it's going to be in the ballpark as soon as you as soon as you load that new start up template. So other things that you can change in here, for instance, if you want the counting on or off all the time, you want to change the metronome volume, you can change all those things. You can change what bars you would have as a default. I tend to do things in 4s or 8s. So I've been using 4 bar as my default bar setting. So you can set that as well. It's set to 2 by default, but that's not quite enough for me. I like a little bit of variation, maybe 4 bars or 8 bars with a little roll at the end or something like that. So I tend to work like that. So I keep it at 4 bars or 8 bars. We'll keep it at 4 for now. So that's all we can really do there. I tend to keep swing on 0. I will change per project. So, you know, this is a clean slate. You don't want to go too much in depth. You just want like a default value to start with. So the next things that I do are this. Ooh, magic. So one thing I do not understand, if there is a reason for this, then fair enough. But one thing I do not understand is why, when you have a default project loaded up, that the color compressor is switched on. Now that to me is mental, because if it's not in bypass, you could start working, not completely forget that the compressor's on, because let's be honest, you will, because it just happens. If it's on already and you don't realize it's on already, in fact, I bet you there are some people that don't even realize it's on already when they load up a new project. So I'm telling you now, it is. And you can be working on your project and it will suddenly start sounding a little bit odd when you start banging it out. You know, you've got the beats in there, the samples are in there. It's starting to sound a little bit strange. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. Oh my God, better go online. Why is it sounding strange? Why is it sounding strange? The reason is that the compressor is on by default. So in my startup template, I have it in bypass. It's quite simple. I can turn it on anytime I want, although I can tell you I never do, because this compressor is rubbish in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So I never use it, so it's always in bypass. Also, another thing I don't understand is, I mean, who does these presets, right? Akai, who does the presets? I mean, you've seen my videos on the air compressor, for instance. Who does that preset, that default preset? They're nuts, frankly. And this default preset, for considering it's the compressor, I'm guessing that maybe they've set it with such a slow release and such a slow attack because it's on by default. I don't know. Personally, you know, maybe you have a limiter at that kind of speed release. Maybe you might have an attack at that sometimes, but generally those are not going to be your general settings for a compressor, generally, because there are no rules, of course. So I don't know who does these presets, but it's mental. So we will stick that in bypass. That's where it always is for me. So I have that as my new startup template. That's where it is. Now, another thing, knob effects. Now, by default, it's on low pass filter. Again, it's not in bypass. Now, you might think, well, what's low pass filter going to do to my sound? Well, it actually probably isn't really going to do anything as such, because it's quite transparent anyway. And the default for the resonance is on 0 and it's set all the way across for the frequency. So it shouldn't really affect your sound. However, it might affect your sound. So you don't really want that on. You don't really want anything to color your sound as soon as you start working, or at least I don't anyway. Now, let's just say, for instance, you accidentally knock that and you don't realize that you've knocked it. Now suddenly you've got a low pass filter with a resonance of 19, 20, whatever. And again, you might not think that it's affecting the sound, but suddenly you're banging it out a bit and you're starting to think there's something going on. There's a resonant frequency going on somewhere that I don't understand it. Why is it when the snares come in and the kicks come in, it just sounds a little bit odd? It's because the resonance is on and it's not in bypass. So you can choose whatever effect you want as your default startup template effect. You know, low pass filter is a great one to have. It's one that I use a lot, and it is actually the one I have in my default template, so I haven't changed that. But bus compressor would be another one. But again, if you don't have it in bypass, it's going to start activating once you start getting over the threshold. So I would have it in bypass no matter what you've chosen. Limiter's another good one to have. You know, whatever you might feel that you use the most. Bus compressor and limiter are actually pretty decent idea to have as a default plugin. You know, as we know on the sample, you don't really have many options, but mine, I have it as low pass filter, and I always have it in bypass. Just, you know, it's just something that I've always done as a rule. You know, I started as a tape up, a little bit of a story here. I started off as a tape up as a summer job, and one of my jobs was to zero everything. Zero the desk, you know, zero the gains, zero the EQs, zero the compressors, make sure everything was in bypass, because that's how you want to start off. That's where I want to begin from. I want to build my track. I don't really want anything tainting it to start with. Now, you can do if you want. I know, well, I mean, for instance, when I mix, I tend to mix into a bus compressor from the very, very start. But it's not doing very much, and I'm used to doing that because I've been doing it for 40 years, and I'm used to how that compressor reacts. So I know what it's doing to the sound instantly, but that's how I work. I would say as a rule, if there are in fact any rules, it's a better idea to have everything at zeroed and everything in bypass. So that's what I've done with this template as well. It's in bypass. And I think that is pretty much it. That is pretty much all you can do, because any of these other things on here, mute groups, trim, the filters, etc., you can't really do anything with them until you've actually got a sample in there. And if you're starting with a clean slate, then there aren't going to be any samples in there. So really, that's all you can really do. The sequence and the knob effects and the compressor turned off. Then what you want to do is you want to save it as a project. Now, you can save it internally if you want, but I would make the suggestion that externally is a better idea. It's easier to move around. If you want to move it around, you can share it easier. And also, I just personally tend to steer clear of saving anything on the internal memory of any MPCs, to be honest. It's just a habit that I've got into. There are reasons behind it, which I'm not going to go into, but it just ends up being safer, and it takes it takes another issue that could come up out of the equation, I guess. So save it externally. We'll call it CM template or whatever, etc. Like I said, this is going to be downloadable for free, but you can change it yourself and call it whatever you like. So simple as that. Then external, rename it, do it, save it in your projects folder, and there it is. You've got your startup template. So there you have it. Like I said, with the MPC Sample, there really isn't very much to cover. You know, I think I said it at the start of the video, people have done masterclasses on it, but I don't really, I mean, if you do really want to learn how to use the MPC Sample and you know absolutely nothing about it at all, check out Nervous Cook. He's the guy. He makes fantastic tutorials for Koala, for other MPCs, for the SP404, and he's done one for the Sample as well. They're very quick, couple of minutes, easy to digest, and that they, you know, I mean, even though I learnt the Sample myself very, very quickly, I do actually go to his videos sometimes as reference. So they're fantastic. That's what I would do. And they're also free, and you're not paying for a masterclass. Not that there's anything against people who are selling masterclasses for the MPC Sample, but just anyway. So thanks for watching. This is sorry. This will be downloadable. There'll be a link below. It's absolutely free. I'm not going to charge for it. I never do for my templates. And, you know, if there are any updates to the MPC Sample where it will need to be changed, I will obviously change it. But, you know, I would say this is something that's pretty personal. So I would suggest, you know, be inspired by this, but make your own version of it, and, you know, for whatever suits your workflow. So thanks for watching. This is The Quakes Motel. My name's Conan. I'm the concierge. Till next time.
Concierge.